Good day, everybody. Good evening. Terry Lee Harrison here with Team Referral Network Virtual Chapters, and I have an amazing guest from my Team Talk Live today. I would love for you to meet my networking friend, Greg Smith from Send Handwritten. Greg, welcome.
Thank you very much, Terry Lee. How are you today?
Oh, I'm fantastic, and the anytime I can be on screen with Greg Smith is wonderful with me.
Fantastic. That's good.
How are things going there right now? Oh, I should say, tell them where you're from. I'll introduce you properly, but tell everyone where you're coming in live from, and tell us how things are going.
So I'm coming in live from the Gold Coast in Australia. So it's a nice, warm winter's afternoon here on the Gold Coast with a gentle sea breeze.
Wow, that sounds good.
So outside it's nice and sunny and sort of midwinter, which is nice. But no aircon, it's a lovely day.
Oh my gosh, okay, so I'm jealous. So when you live, some of you will be jealous of me living 1 degree from the equator, right, in Singapore, but I just love the cooler weather, and our aircon has got to be on all the time almost. So good for you, my friend. Good for you. Well, I would love to introduce our listeners, our audience to you. So I will do that now. So Greg Smith is the founder and CEO of Send Handwritten, and he's also known as the master of client retention. Most of us struggle to keep pace with the gazillions of messages that arrive on our screens each week. Send Handwritten helps entrepreneurs cut through the digital noise using handwritten by real people greeting cards that arrive in an exquisite wax-sealed envelope. With 100% open rates, I mean, why not, right? And 15% response rates, Greg helps with both lead generation and client retention. And if digital is your thing, Greg has a unique suite of handwritten and hand-drawn cards that can be integrated with LinkedIn, text, and email. You've got to check those out. So if you would like to consider some seriously creative marketing, I suggest connecting with Greg, and that's why I've invited him here today. So Greg, now y'all know why I'm excited to chat with my friend.
Yeah, me too. I'm excited to chat with my mate, Terry Lee.
That's right, my mate. Hey, so you have some top tips when it comes to marketing for business owners, and I always love the spin that you put on things. And so I'll share what like the tips are, and then I would love you to elaborate, share your expertise, teach us what you know, because I always learn from you, Greg. So number one is to be remarkable and memorable. What can you share with us about that?
Yeah, so I think in a modern marketplace, which is digital heavy, what I've noticed is that if I talk to most entrepreneurs, they have a gazillion unopened emails, newsletters, pieces of information that live on their various devices that we just don't get to. Terry Lee, how many unopened, undealt with emails in your inbox? Can you see it?
I can see it right now, and it's actually low compared to normal because I thought I was filling out my Google space I had left. I have 300,721, and that's low for Terry Lee. Mm-hmm.
So extraordinary. So in order for us to cut through that digital noise, I assert, and Send Handwritten asserts, that we've got to do something different, something remarkable, something that's going to be remembered. So digital is clearly here to stay. We cannot get rid of StreamYard and LinkedIn and Facebook and all of those platforms. However, how do we show up consistently and get eyeballs on our work when there's so much noise? So we looked at the marketplace, and the answer that we came up with was that, okay, digital's here, but if we add to that digital work, much of which is valuable, something like a handwritten greeting card that's going to show up in somebody's mailbox, where usually we only get nauseating or boring window envelopes, so bills and invoices and statements. If something gorgeous shows up in your mailbox and it's wax sealed and it's handwritten, I've got one here. Imagine if that showed up in your mailbox.
Yeah.
You're going to open. Oh, I think he's up. Oh no, he's up the right way. So you're going to open that when it's all branded to you, the client. What that means is that there's more likely to be a personal connection. So first thing that we noticed was, when we started some years ago, was that we were getting 100% open rates. If that arrives in amongst all the window envelopes, you've got to have some pretty serious self-control not to open that one first. And we average a 15% open rate. That's remarkable.
That is remarkable. That is remarkable. And how refreshing is it? I mean, can y'all imagine your mailbox and finding that? Like how awesome is that? And shoot, I have some other envelopes that are I just know what they are, you know, Greg, my bills, and I already know what they are because I found out online. So they go unopened in the filing cabinet also. So not only do I have emails, but I have those unopened also. Yeah, imagine everyone how you can stand out and catch your potential clients, re-establish relationship with past client, right? Just all those delight your current client, right? How exciting is that for them too? So, okay, so we're going to be remarkable and memorable, and we know that you're the guy to help us do it.
Yep. And you said a couple of interesting words there, Terry Lee. You said you said something about it being about building relationships. And there is a part of the marketplace that we call relationship marketing. I prefer to call this appreciation marketing or generosity marketing. It's about being generous of spirit so that one can engage and empathize and create a wow and an experience. Yeah. You also said something about looking after existing relationships. So our work it helps generate leads and it helps nurture our existing clients.
Yes, someone was mentioning to me recently about, you know, like what is like some of your better clients worth to you, and how much would you invest in them? You know, just to I don't want to say, is it too frou-frou to say love on them, but that appreciation for them, and to constantly be feeding into that relationship. And what a better way to delight them, for sure, than remembering something very important for them in a beautiful card like that. All right, so your number 2 tip, I'm going to start it off because there's a lot of things in here, and this is going to show off your marketing expertise. But let's start with integrate digital platforms, etc. So tell us more.
So if it's a reality that digital marketing is here to stay and it's an important part of the marketing ecosystem, we made a decision not to eliminate, mainly for us it's LinkedIn, but not to eliminate social platforms. And let's assume LinkedIn is the social platform that we're talking about here, because business people tend to hang out on LinkedIn rather than Twitter and Facebook and some of those other platforms, which are valuable in their own right. Yes, I think I know a Terry Lee that hangs out in Facebook. So when we take on a client, it would seem at first glance to be logical that all we need to do is to show up using something tactile and beautiful. But if we integrate a LinkedIn connection, and following a LinkedIn connection, something designed like that appears as a thank you note inside LinkedIn, and we call those Digi Cards. So something designed for the client appears in LinkedIn, and we do the LinkedIn requesting, and we do the thanks for connecting part of that process for our clients. All of a sudden, our clients have a growing list of connections that we nurture in the initial steps, and then on their behalf, once we know who they are, we've got a data team who then go and find, if it's available, that person's business contact details, and then to that address that we mine, we send something tactile and gorgeous in the mail. And then once that has arrived in the mail, we've also got teams of people all around the world that make an appointment on behalf of our clients if it's a lead generation campaign. So now we have an integration of digital marketing, personalized, tactile marketing, and I don't like the term, I prefer appointment setting to telemarketing, because that's the intent. The intent is to get on the phone, to begin a conversation that can lead to some value for both parties.
Okay, that's really cool. Okay, so if I can find it, may I show off one of my Digi Cards if I can find it?
Absolutely.
Okay. Why don't you talk about Digi Cards really quick, a little more while I find it, because I just love it. What else can you tell us about Digi Cards?
Yeah, so what COVID has done for Send Handwritten is that it forced us to jump about 18 months ahead of ourselves. This was a piece of work that we knew that we wanted to do, but we weren't yet focused on. When it became obvious that COVID was forcing business people not to be in their offices doing their usual work, but to be working in their bedrooms doing their usual work in an unusual way, we went through a process of adding what we called a pre-call service to our work. So our team were ringing business people who were prospects of our clients and saying, "Hello, Terry Lee, do you still work at blah, blah address?" And if the answer was yes, great. But if the answer was no, well, we've got something personal that we'd like to send you in the mail. It's not spam. We're only going to send it once. Do you have a safe home post office box or a safe address that we could send something to you? So that works. However, because right from the beginning we asserted that digital communication was not to be ignored, we created Digi Cards, which arrive by text, social media, or via email. And when they arrive, they have the ability to handwrite themselves in a time-lapse little video on your phone, on the magic mailbox that you've got.
Are we ready? Are we ready to show it? Okay, so this would be, I have several cards, and this would be like when someone joins our virtual team community, so hopefully they'll join just because they want to receive this, not just teasing. So just need to make sure it'll show. So my big thing is my Supergirl cape, you guys. So let's see. I don't know. Oh, is it going to see? Is it going to show? Come on, do your thing, buddy. Why is it not showing the video? Wait, let me just start it. I was looking at, let me show the thing. Okay, sorry, it's got the bottom thing.
There we go.
You can see. But you can all see. So sorry, you got all the thing at the bottom.
Right.
But it's great.
So can you imagine once we go the next step for a client, and then we have Sandra Bullock reading that note on Terry Lee's behalf. So there's an auditory component to that, or it's Morgan Freeman or Bugs Bunny or whoever it is that we can find as a voiceover professional to voice over that piece of work. That's standout. Nobody else on the planet is doing this. Nobody, as far as I know. If anybody on this live stream knows of anybody that's doing this, I want to meet them. I want colleagues. I want people to in this space to push us along to the next and the next and the next.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. So that's the first two tips, and then the truth about when we go to talk about the last tip is Greg and I met networking. In fact, we met at an E-Women Network meeting out of an Australia chapter. And I wholeheartedly believe in networking. I know that Greg does. I see him live that out. So talk to us. Point 3 is show up, show up, show up. What do you have to say about that?
So there's 3 rules of marketing that I hadn't really properly tuned into until COVID forced my hand. And what COVID forced me to do was to do those 3 things as the first 3 rules of marketing. Show up, show up, show up. For me, in this context of the CEO of a fast-growing small enterprise, when I show up consistently and it's my name on the screen and my face and my dad joke and my energy, then people decide after a while that perhaps this crazy guy actually can be trusted, known, and liked enough to help me grow, or help my clients grow their businesses. So show up once, you're forgettable. Show up twice, you got more likelihood of being remarkable or memorable. Show up all of the time and they get sick of you. And then they want to do some work with you. Sick of you in a good way.
Sick of you in a good way. Yes. I love that. I love that. I love that. So the other day, I should have known because it was very interesting. There was a a multiple day mastermind that happened to be like at a great time for us over here in our part of the world. A lot of times the North American events are, just ungodly for us. We want to be resting and sleeping and snoozing. And so I showed an event. Greg had told me he knew these people, but yet I was still surprised that when I came on the screen, lo and behold, the only one I knew was Greg Smith. And, he walks the walk and talks the talk. He shows up. He shows up.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And if we extrapolate that thought, Terry, that's really, it's not what marketing is about. Marketing is about expressing the value that you can add to people that don't currently know the value that you can add. But what marketers do is that they encourage their businesses to show up. That's what TV advertising is about. That's what telemarketing at 6 p.m. when it's dinner time is all about. It's about showing up, showing up, showing up, showing up, and even bad advertising or bad showing up ends up often being commented on. So show up, show up, show up, add value, add value, add value, and make the impact that you have chosen to make on the planet in the best way you possibly can.
That's right. That is right. I have to tell you all, I have enjoyed, I don't know when we met. It was here in 2020 and probably right around the start of COVID, but I've enjoyed my relationship with this extraordinary man, business owner, networker, and all he knows in marketing about how to stand out and be unique and be noticed. So I want to invite you all. I'm going to share with you where you can contact Greg. And then, Greg, is there anything else you'd love to share as we close out our live today?
Just what we're really excited about, Terry. I'm not excited about COVID, but I'm partly appreciative of what COVID has forced our creativity to create. That's not a nice sentence. I think you know what I mean.
I do.
So our creativity has been squeezed and forced into a shorter time frame, and that wouldn't have happened had we not had the gift of COVID. And it's not a gift; it's a drama. And what we're really excited about is that our Digi Cards are an easy way for people to stand out if they really want to stand out and Velcro prospects, or they want to Velcro their existing clients to them. It's easy then to take the next step with something physical. And we're very excited that North America has opened up for us and people are starting to hear about us. So if you're in North America, stand on a hilltop or the top of a building and shout, send handwritten as loud as you possibly can.
Awesome. Well, we're excited that you're expanding, and I'm sure that there are many people who would love to connect with you. So if you love what you hear here, that was a bad sentence too. If you love what we've been saying and you resonate with what Greg is up to and would like to chat with him, I know he would love to hear from you. So I invite you to connect with him. And Greg, thank you as always. It's always one of my favorite things to have time with you on screen. And I just want to wish everyone a fantastic rest of your day. Thanks, everybody. Thanks, Greg.
Thanks, Terry. See you.